U.S. mortgage rates hit highest level since 2000. And you guys can see the chart here for yourself. So this is the average 30-year mortgage. Rates are above 7%. We haven't seen these kind of interest rates for about 23 years. And, I was thinking about this when I was looking at the chart here, how there's a bunch of social media channels out there that, pump you, hey, you're going to get rich, having your Airbnb empire, or you're going to be house flipping, or even, some people on social media, we talk about the foreign channel, that will do these scammy crowd-funded real estate kind of stuff like, oh, we're going to make tons of money in real estate, etc. It's very, very different to be in real estate and this stuff when interest rates are this high, because people don't have access to the free and easy money. Before, you could probably go to the bank and they'll just give you the money now. Lenders are a little bit leery because they're kind of nervous if you're going to pay it back. Also, too, moreover, we talked about several times on the channel with the Evergrande situation and their real estate market melting down. And again, we have high interest rates in USA, so it would seem that things should cool. We do have an inventory problem, so that might keep prices elevated for some time, but something's got to give, and that's essentially why we're watching the Fed and interest rates all the time. But this is actually significant news, right? U.S. mortgage rates hit the highest level since 2000. Now, the job market, if you're at Fortnite with the maker, which is Epic Games. Actually, this is in North Carolina. We used to live there, so we knew some people that worked at Epic, but I guess they're firing 16% of their staff. It's actually pretty significant. It is 870 employees, and if you've been to North Carolina in this area, it's in the research/academic triangle. So that would be like Raleigh, Durham, Cary. It's a nice area, actually. And this is a quote from the CEO over at Epic Games. For a while now, we've been spending way more money than we earn. I had long been optimistic that we would power through this transition without layoffs, but in retrospect, I see that was unrealistic. And I mean, this is something that you have to face reality, and something I talk about quite a bit on the channel. When you say, look at the balance sheet of a company, or, I ask you guys about your industry, hey, are the orders coming in? Because, we've had essentially global slowdown in China. We have a war with Russia and Ukraine, and also, too, we have rising interest rates and all of our problems that we have in the USA. It is, if the money's not there, it's hard to keep employees employed. And some of these companies, they tried to be optimistic and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you got to pay attention to numbers. So that's sort of why I like to do numbers with you guys all the time when we can. Here's another one here, headline, GameStop survival demands, quote, extreme frugality. This is from CEO Ryan Cohen, and this is a memo. So this is the GameStop issue, and Ryan Cohen, I think he's CEO now, and he sent out a memo to GameStop employees. The subject is called survival, which is mentioned like the email, right? Memo/email, and we'll read it here. He says, I'll be straight to the point. This is GameStop here. It is not sustainable for GameStop to operate a money-losing business. The mission is to operate hyper efficiently and profitably. Our expense structure must allow us to endure any adverse scenario, whether it's a difficult economy or revenue deceleration from shrinking software. We must be profitable. Our job is to make sure GameStop is here for decades to come. Extreme frugality is required. Every expense of the company must be scrutinized under a microscope and all waste eliminated. The company has no use for delegators and money wasters. I expect everyone to treat a company money like their own and lead by example. So when he says this kind of stuff, I'm thinking like he's looking for people to fire. Moreover, he says here, prospering in retail means survival. If we survive, we stay in the game. Survival is avoiding the deadly sins that often lead retailers to self-destruct. This is usually a result of following, this is what he says, buying bad inventory, using leverage, and running expenses too high. By avoiding these self-inflicted mistakes and focusing on the basics, GameStop can be here for a long time. I expect everyone to roll up their sleeves and work hard. I'm not getting paid, so I'm either going down with the ship or turning the company around. I much prefer the latter. It won't be easy. Best of luck to us all. And this is from, again, Ryan Cohen, the GameStop CEO. It's interesting because when you put this together with the Epic things, it's just a reality, guys. Like, when the free money is just not there anymore, and like he was saying in his description of like people who fail and say retail, you're buying bad stuff that you can't sell, right? Bad inventory, you're using too much leverage, right? Taking out too many loans, you got too much debt, and your expenses, like the cost of running business is too high. And it's crazy because like we've talked about this sort of meme stocky stuff before, and a lot of these have really bad fundamentals. And this is just the reality. When the market's going up, people are like, I don't, who cares about debt? Who cares about, spending, wasted money at the company? Who cares? The stock is going up. Let's buy more, right? But at the end of the day, right, someone's got to pay the bill. And again, we're seeing this meltdown at Evergrande in China. We're seeing that mortgage rates are high. We're seeing, companies are like, we just don't have the money to pay anymore. We've got to let you go, that kind of stuff. So, this kind of stuff it's been slower than I thought it would be. I thought these kind of things would come out much, faster, but that the timing of stuff is always hard to predict. But at the end of the day, though, this is why I talk about so much on your channel. You got to take care of yourself, make sure you secure your job, make sure you're securing your finances, these kind of things, because you can see the storm coming. Like you can see it. Interest rates are up, and that that, and also too, the Fed's been talking about for a while. We were quantitative easing, basically pumping money into the system, and quantitative tightening, like we're pumping money or burning money out of the system. A better way to say it. It's going to change everything, right? And things should slow. Moreover, we're having, more fights between U.S. and China in terms of like language wars, not physical fighting yet, but this has been a recent one. You can see here, U.S. accuses China of launching global information war. And it's funny because I was thinking about this as well, as where like we start to talk more tough against China when we don't think we can make as much money from them. Like we see, oh, you're having trouble with Evergrande. Okay, now we don't like you anymore. But when the money's flowing from China, and when they're investing in our properties, and they're investing in our companies, et cetera, like that. Oh, okay, we'll take your money. But then when the money's not there anymore, we'll start talking tough. And I have made several videos on China. You can watch those as well. I don't want to spend too much time on this one, but just want to mention it. Like you'll see these headlines of just today: surging trade with China is boosting Russia's war. But like we've known this for quite a while that China and Russia were in cahoots. So it's not like a surprising headline. It's just you start to get more numbers about it and these kind of things. And this one, it was an interesting one. Remember the whole TikTok fiasco, and they had like the U.S. It was like the CEO of TikTok in the U.S. branch of it testify before the Congress. I watched that, and then as it turns out, now they've been asking employees in the U.S. offices, what's going on over there, and then it was leaked that more staff from Beijing, right, directly from China, are coming in to maybe take a little bit more direct control. And this is an interesting one because I think the TikTok situation, this is sort of why when the government comes out and is like, the U.S. government that is, and saying, accusing China of, essentially spreading Chinese propaganda. When you see this TikTok stuff, you never know if we're going to have a ban on this one or not. I think, I want to say it was North Dakota. We saw that a couple weeks ago, that they were banning their, employees from using it, stuff like that. And I think the U.S. military has come out and said these kind of things, and various, entities in the government, and this would be either state or federal, will probably come out and start making more either statements like, hey, no TikTok in the office, that kind of stuff. And to be really frank, guys, TikTok is really dumb. And you could argue that we get what we deserve as kind of stuff, but this sort of technology of like what gets promoted to the front of the feed or not is actually really quite interesting. And like I'll give you an example. I saw this one recently. This says here, this is dated September 29th, so today. TikTok influencers are promoting steroids to young men, anxious to be like Captain America warns nonprofit. Like this kind of stuff. I just think about this. Like if you have kids, or let's say you're just a teenager watching this stuff, and like your favorite influencer on TikTok is like, yo, you got to take this new pill, And I know people say that steroids is bad, but like, man, this pill is awesome, like that kind of stuff. And I'm not advocating. I want to make it really clear. I'm not advocating this stuff at all. But this is a problem. And it's not just this kind of stuff. It's also too the bad financial stuff that people say, and just TikTok is just frankly dumb. There's no other way to put it. It's most of the content on there is dumb, or if not all the content on there is dumb content, and it's a real problem. Moreover, and we'll just kind of switch over to Tesla news. Tesla's got some problems as well, because Europe's questioning, hey Tesla, how close is your relationship to China? The meaning is that this story broke actually a week or so ago, where basically the European Union is like, hey, if it turns out that Chinese companies are getting supported by the Chinese government, right, our local companies in Europe can't necessarily compete in the same way, and so we're going to have to basically raise tariffs / taxes on Chinese goods coming in. And then the question was a kind of interesting one: is Tesla is an American company, but they have obviously a huge branch with the Shanghai Gigafactory in China. And are they receiving money from China that gives them essentially a competitive edge against European car makers? And that's essentially what the EU is looking into. And this is actually a quote. I'll read it here. So this is from Dobrovsky, and he says here, we stand at a crossroads. We can choose a path towards mutually beneficial relations, one which is based on open, fair trade and investment and working hand in hand on the great challenges of our time. Or we can choose a path that slowly moves us apart, where the shared benefits we enjoyed in recent decades weaken and fade, and as a result, where our people and economies face reduced opportunities. And this is I think he's one of the leaders of the EU. I can't remember who Dabrowski is exactly. Probably I'll tell you here. So he's the executive vice president of the European Commission. Okay, and he actually gave this talk at Tsinghua University, which is in Beijing, and that's where I used to teach. I always tell you guys this stuff, but I know for people who are unfamiliar with China or Tsinghua University, you just wouldn't know. That's what I'm telling you. Tsinghua is a top university. My students are very, very good. And essentially the Chinese presidents went to school where I teach. One of the things, or taught I should say, one of the things that I want to mention with this though, with this this China and this EV thing is this is big money, right? Europeans make cars. You can talk about your BMWs, your Mercedes, your Volkswagens, these kind of things. So Germany would clearly have a care about these things. Like Italians make cars, the French make cars, but like Peugeot, if you don't know, I don't think you see fine Peugeots in the USA anymore. I think we talked about this before, but this is big money for them, and they're going to care about this quite a bit. The other thing too, I was thinking about when I was reading through this stuff is like all these crazy challenges that Tesla has these days. Like I'll give you an example. Here's one. The EEOC, so is the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. So I can barely say that. They're accusing Tesla of widespread racism and harassment of black workers. So it's interesting because we actually heard about this before. I want to say last year these kind of issues came up, and now I think they're being sued to see. So because it says here, EEOC sues Tesla. I read through the whole thing. It's like, I want to say it was like 15 pages or something like that. I'm not going to show it to you. Why? Because there's a bunch of foul language in it. Basically, it's the N-word everywhere, and you guys know what that is. It's a derogatory term. And the problem is when I read through the lawsuit, I'm just being honest with you with this. When I read through it, and this is a big problem in U.S. culture and U.S. black culture. You can say both. It's both U.S. culture and U.S. black culture is like, the use of the N-word is funky, and I say funky is because you'll hear it all the time, and this is real in TV shows, movies, and rap music. It's very real, and you'll hear it among regular people as well. And so, like when I read through what's being said in the accusations, I don't know how to read it. I'm just being honest. I don't know how to read it. I'm just like, okay, I can see shouldn't say these kind of words, but like. It's kind of everywhere, and it's not something you hear on TV in terms of like your news feed. I'm not gonna say it on YouTube and stuff like that, but I'm sure you guys know what I'm saying. You'll hear it on this, like you go to whatever random YouTube channel about rap or whatever, and you'll hear these things. So, whether or not there's like extreme malice, who knows? I think there was KKK symbols, stuff like that, but again. I don't know how to, and I'm not defending Tesla whatsoever. Instead, I read through the thing, and the language is clear, right, in terms of like the use of the N-word all over the place, and lots of slurs against black people. It's all over the place. But like I said, the issue is, and this is a long running issue. It's too long of a discussion for this one little video in the news. But the use of that particular word. So I don't use it. And I don't advocate for it. And, there are people out there who use it routinely. and that would be black and non-black people. So you take that however you want to take. But I just want to say that that is a thing. But as a society, we haven't really fully decided like how we're going to use this. And I'm not defending Tesla. And chances are that they don't treat workers good over there. They're a non-union thing. And if it turns out that GM, Ford, and Stellantis end up paying people a ton more money, and Tesla workers are like, crap, we're getting paid a ton more money if I jump ship. They might do that. So we'll see. So keep an eye on these things. Though the last time I think it says here the Tesla had to pay a black worker, just one worker, $3.2 million in damages. So if it turns out like there's like widespread, bad things going on over there, Tesla may be in real trouble. It's a real thing. Moreover, I want to point out, and I didn't even know this was going on. It just started. I was like flipping on YouTube, and like you could watch the live impeachment hearings on Biden. Like they're going after President Biden. So here's the thing. I watched a little bit. I read a couple of articles. There's no new information, and the Republicans have no evidence. Okay. So I understand if you're a staunch, GOP, Republican, conservative, right wing, however you want to say, you call yourself, and you just hate Biden all you want, and that's fine. You can hate Biden all you want, but if you want to impeach someone, you got to come up with evidence. Okay. So basically, what they're trying to say is like, hey, Joe Biden's son is really, really bad. That's what they're trying to say, and they can say it all they like, but did President Biden, not the son, did he benefit in any way? And at the moment, there's no evidence. Okay, so I'm fine with you having an opinion. You can have whatever opinion you like, but when you come up with charges or anything like that, I'll look into it. And there's no evidence. So if I have to explain to you like why evidence is important, I don't know what else to say, and you probably shouldn't be watching my channel. But there's no evidence. So if they come up with evidence, so be it. But as of now, there's none. And my feeling on this, if you're going to do these kind of things, you would show your evidence immediately. So I don't think they have anything. I think this is just it's nothing. And this reminds me of why it's so important, why I enjoy doing YouTube with you guys, and etc. And I'll give you an example to explain more further. Is for example, the Republicans had their debate yesterday, and I could probably go through the whole thing and watch it, make a separate video. Maybe I'll do that in a couple days. But frankly, I think it's like 2 or 3 hours. It's long. I watched a bit of the highlights, but the highlights on news media outlets don't really tell you the full story, and this is sort of why I say like you do YouTube. I try my best to tell you the full story and tell you everything. For example, and this is just a good example in the Republican debate. I frankly don't care which one of these people win or whatever. I just try to watch it and give you an honest opinion on these things. And so I'm not advocating any particular person. I'm not hating on a particular person. I don't care. I want to just like watch it and give everyone a fair shake. But in today's media landscape, you are way more popular if you advocate what is a conspiratorial point of view. Where you advocate what degenerates want to hear, and I know it sounds kind of mean, degenerates, but that's essentially a lot of your audience. The typical person, and this is something I've seen quite a bit, is they want to blame everyone else. Very few people want to be held accountable for their own actions, right? And I'll repeat, very few people want to be accountable for their own actions. And me telling you that simple message gets people really upset, and they flip the YouTube down and go watch someone else because they want to hear and experience things that makes them feel more good. No one wants to hear, hey, you got to work a little bit harder, or hey, you need to train a little bit better, or hey, you can do more. No one wants to hear that. People just want to hear, oh, you're working hard and the world is tough, and all these other people are trying to abuse you. That's what you want to hear. And so a lot of times these types of candidates, and this would be both for Democrats, Republicans, doesn't matter, politicians, they tell you what you want to hear so that you vote for them. So what you want to hear is that, you're doing a good job and all these people are trying to cheat you all the time, and vote for me and I'll help you fight the cheaters. And when the problem is when I watch the debate, and this is going back to say the YouTube or why you would watch my channels like that, is in this example here, many of the candidates were accusing Vivek of having dealings with China. Okay, and so I listen to this, I say, okay, that's what the accusations are, and then I have to go through and look it up for myself, and then give you guys an honest opinion. Do you understand? To see my role here is like, hey, Chris, is this true? Hey, Chris, is this true? That's what I try to do on this channel, and I was thinking about why it's so important to have essentially free speech, free media, these kind of things. We can look up stuff, right? We and I can say it. I can say, hey, this is a bunch of BS. This looks like to be true. This kind of stuff. The issue is that for average people, and I'm right there with you, there's so much stuff you have to look up these days because too many people just make up stuff all the time, like all the time, all day, every day. Be it TikTok, be it your favorite news channel. It happens. They'll bring on guests. They'll just make stuff up. I don't want to say the particular YouTube channel's name. I just don't want to promote them at all. But I was watching one YouTube channel, and they were just making stuff up about in politics, just making stuff up. Like they were saying, oh, Biden's doing this and Biden's doing that. And I literally, you know, I was like, okay, is that true? And I look it up and I'm like, I don't find anything. And I look up and again, I don't find anything. And then I hope you understand the problem. I sincerely hope so. And because I know sometimes you get these people out there that just believe what they want to believe. And I don't live in that world. You know, I try my best to when I go through the news every single day. I read through everything, and I basically just look for facts. That's what I'm looking for. I don't care that much about, you know, certain people's opinions. I just want to see facts. Like, for example, today the news is Epic Games is firing 16% of their employees. That's a fact. You know, 870 people lost their job. That's what I'm looking for. And then, you know, there's no opinion on that. It's like, that's a fact. And it's the same with this kind of stuff. Is like, you know, I hope you guys understand my point of view on these things. The other issue with the problem with the debate, and it's a problem. It's the last couple. This is the second debate now. Is the more what I would consider reasonable and calm candidates, they don't give them any airtime at all. Basically, if you want to get airtime, meaning that, you know, you want to get in the highlight reel and you want to get more time on stage, you just got to fight and yell and talk over other people. And so much of the debate was literally two people talking at the same time, and it wasn't really anything too substantive. And then the more reasonable candidates, you don't even know their name. Like the one governor, I think he's from North Dakota. Like, you don't even know his name. I don't remember his name. I'd have to look it up. It's down here. I could probably read it. It's Doug Berman, or no, Burgum is his name. Like, he actually sounds like a reasonable person, but like, he's not going to get any airtime at all. And I'm not advocating for Doug whatsoever. The same with like Pence, which I don't particularly like, and I'm not advocating for Pence either, but he actually sounds way more reasonable than the other people. But the other people who yell and scream more are going to get more press, because our politics and our, you know, our social media and all of these things it's all about controversy and entertainment, and who can call people the best names and who can yell at people the most. And this is also very real. This is very real. I'm telling you the truth on this thing. You know, Trump didn't go again. The second debate, he didn't go. Fact. He didn't go to the first one, didn't go to the second one. It's fact. And if he goes, he'll just come and he'll be really good at insulting other people. And people say, oh yeah, I like how you insult other people. I vote for you. Just call names and say outrageous things. You'll be popular. You'll make all the highlight reels. And that's why Trump does really, really well. That's the USA. So hope you understand my point of view on these things. And I'll catch you next video.